Hey guys, it's Luke here, and in today's video we are talking about the Xbox Cloud Gaming Service, specifically for people that are living in Australia. So this service has been available for a little while in the United States and a couple other spots, but we were a little bit slow to the party, and unfortunately this is the first gaming streaming service that we have here in Australia. We don't have Stadia. I might be wrong, we might have the PlayStation 1, I'm not 100% sure about that. But this is kind of like the first AAA title major gaming service that I've used. The Nvidia one is not far off. I just got an email about that, and I'll probably test that out when that becomes available as well. But what I wanted to do is just share my experience with you guys, let you know whether or not it's worth the $15.95 a month, what it's like to stream games as a service here in Australia, and I'll let you know how my experience has been so far. So first thing I want to talk about, and that's the weird naming convention of this service. You know, it was Project X and then xCloud, and man, there were so many different names for it. I was so confused if they were all the same thing, but they are the same thing, and the proper name for the service is Xbox Cloud Gaming, and it is part of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, okay? There were a number of people that were selected as beta testers to try this out in Australia. Unfortunately, I didn't get a pass, but it is officially available. Anyone can use it now. I think it came out on the 30th of September, so you can go to the website, sign up, log in, and start playing AAA titles by game streaming, which is really cool. So to get started, it only costs $1, and then, like I mentioned, $15.95 a month thereafter. Now, for $15.95 a month, you're going to get over 100 Xbox titles, and one of the coolest things about that is you actually get access to AAA titles on the day that they are released, and I think that's really cool. So, you know, Back 4 Blood, brand new game, just came out. It's available straight away. You can start streaming it. It's the full game, it's the full experience, and you get access to everything that you would normally get when you buy that game in a retail store. So let's start with the pros. So with the 100 plus titles, you get access to Xbox 360 games, some really good classic games. I was playing Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie the other day. They run perfectly, no issues at all. And you get access to Xbox One titles like all the Halos, Gears of War, etc. As a massive game library, I literally don't think anyone would ever run out of really good games to play. And like I mentioned, you get those AAA titles on the day that they are released. And to give you a perfect example, I really love Forza, and the new Forza 5 will be available on the day it comes out to stream and play with your friends. It is working across mobile devices and desktop and tablets. Now, in saying that, to use the mobile experience, you will have to use, this is just in Australia, mind you, you will have to use an Android device. Unfortunately, right now, I haven't been able to get it working on my iPhone or iPad. I know that they're in the process of getting that happening, and I'm sure it's not far away, but I personally just couldn't get it to work on my iPhone. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I've got to go through the browser or something, but there's no official app from Microsoft, and I'm sure that's just tied to a lot of the policies that Apple has in place around streaming services. But on Android, on my Pixel, on my Samsung, works perfect, and I'll talk to you about the experience in just a second. I've got a MacBook Pro, which is my, you know, everyday device, and I've got an iMac here that I use in the studio. Works perfect. No issues. You know, you don't have to be worried about using an Apple product to stream the services. It's exactly the same as a PC. The experience is really good. I've had no issues with dropped frames or anything like that. So if you're worried about signing up for this and you're not sure because you've got an Apple device, don't be worried. It's actually really good. You can actually play online games. I wasn't sure what the experience would be like signing in and using online games like connecting with friends through the Xbox app and playing Forza and Halo and all those popular titles, Destiny 2, PUBG. Here's what I'll say. My ping, I'm not a PUBG player, but my ping in PUBG, because you can see the stats in the top corner, my ping was about 170 on my NBN connection. Just on that, let me just quickly show you what my NBN connection is like. Okay, so this is my this is my NBN connection on Wi-Fi. I've got 50 meg down and 20 meg up, and I'm in the studio, so it is a little bit slower. It's typically hovers around 46 to 50 meg down, and I typically get about 20 meg up. So in the studio, I'm a little bit further away from the router, so it is a little bit slower. Okay, so I'm with Optus here in Australia, and the 4G tower is literally about 500 meters from my house. I can see it out my window. So this is my 4G speed here at the moment. So it typically hovers around between 80 and 120 meg a second, and this actually does make a difference to the gaming experience. I'll talk about this in just a sec, but I thought it was important to show you guys what kind of download speeds I get, because it does make a difference to the overall game streaming experience. So there's my speeds. NBN and Wi-Fi, NBN and 4G. Unfortunately, I can't get 5G in my service area at the moment, but you can see, if I just bring this up, that's on 4G plus, and again, the tower is literally just a couple hundred meters away. Okay, so the Xbox controller, this is the newest one. I don't know what it's actually called. I'm not familiar with the terms of the new Xbox controls, but this is the one that's got the headphone jack down the bottom. It's a really great controller, actually. I brought one of these for $80 from JB Hi-Fi, and basically the connection process is really easy. You just turn it on, hold the pairing button, go into your Bluetooth settings on your device, and you can see that it's just listed there. Now, what's also interesting is I had this paired and I had my AirPods Pro connected, and I used the AirPod Pro as my microphone to play games and talk with friends, and this was paired via Bluetooth at the same time. No issues, no latency problems. It was really good. The whole experience was really, really good. So if you're worried about maybe having multiple Bluetooth devices and if that would kind of lag and ruin the experience, it doesn't. It's actually really good. A couple other things. So the fact that it is cloud-based means when you play a game, say on your mobile device, and then you switch over to your desktop, it means that any progress that you make on one device is automatically synced to the cloud, and it means that all your game progress, everything you unlock is automatically synced from one device to the other. Super handy, and it's a really big win for cloud gaming. I think it's a great idea. Okay, so let's talk about another really exciting thing, and that is the fact that there are quite a number of games that don't require an Xbox control to play. You can see here they have a whole category. It's called Play with Touch. So you could load up Hades, Killer Instinct, all these different games, and you can play them just by holding the device and touching the controls on screen. I probably wouldn't try it on my Pixel 5 here, but if I was using like the S21 or something with a slightly bigger screen, I think that would be pretty good. I only tried it quickly just because it's much easier on a control. Okay, sound quality was really good. So again, like I mentioned, I was using my AirPod Pro via Bluetooth, and sound was great. It was very immersive, no stuttering, no dropouts, and when you are chatting with friends, there's a really good level between the voice chat and the in-game audio. So no issues. I was kind of worried maybe there might be kind of like some latency problems where the voice and the in-game audio might have a slight lag because it's streaming audio and video, but it's perfect. No problems whatsoever. Coming to the end of the list here, so Microsoft has mentioned that the back end in Australia that they've set up for these streaming is the current Xbox technology. So it means that when you pay for this service, you're actually getting the newest Xbox hardware, which means everything loads really quick. The graphics are great. Load times are really good. I was actually really surprised at how quickly games do load, and even the newest titles. Like I loaded up MechWarrior 5, which you can see just there in the list, and it was really quick. I was very surprised at how quickly I was able to jump into the game and sort of kick off where I left off from the last gaming session. So that's a lot of positive things. It's a really good service. I'm super glad that it's here in Australia because I've been waiting for a proper cloud gaming service, and I'm really glad that Microsoft has put the effort in to make it really, really good. So let's talk about a few negatives because it's not perfect. It's still early days for this service. Okay, what I will say is I've tried this on a number of machines. So PC, I've got a sort of fairly high-end PC. I've got a MacBook Pro with an M1 processor. I've got my iMac 2011, which is spec'd out. And I've got the Google Pixel and the S21 Plus, okay? The best experience I've had so far has been on the mobile devices. Now, I don't know if that's because there is less pixels and less stuff that Microsoft has to push to the actual device, but I've just personally found that I've had less frame drops, less glitches. It just felt like a better experience on the mobile screen. Let me show you something quickly because I think this is important. So if I just fire up Forza again, when you jump into a game, you can see that it is bordered, meaning it doesn't take up the full screen on your mobile device. My guess is that so no matter what device you play it on, Microsoft doesn't have to get all these weird kind of ratio settings. So typically I was playing it the majority of the time on my MacBook Pro, and I tried every browser. So I tried Safari, I tried Chrome, I tried Firefox, and just for you know, just to see what it would be like, I actually downloaded Microsoft Edge just to say, you know, well, is it going to be better on Microsoft's own browser? And the answer is yes. I don't know why, but so like even this here, when you first load this up, so I was trying Safari, I just get sort of dropped frames and a little bit of stutter here and there just when the game first starts. I tried it in Microsoft Edge, zero problems. It didn't have any lag, any frames dropping. The whole thing was just smoother on Edge, which, you know, if you think about it, makes sense because it's Microsoft owned. They've probably done some tweaking and some coding to make that whole experience better so that eventually people are going to want to swap to Microsoft Edge. So you can, when you're inside the app, you can, like I mentioned, start Xbox parties, chat with friends, you know, anything that you would typically do on a normal Xbox. So let me just quickly sync up my control. So I'm going to jump back to the Xbox app. I'll hit A to start a game, and I'll just wait for this to load in. I just want to show you some of the options that you get inside the actual app, because it took me a little while to kind of work out, you know, how to unmute yourself, the different options inside the streaming app, because they are slightly different to what you would experience like a normal Xbox. All right, so here we go. Right now I'm running on 4G, but when you're inside the app, if I tap this, you can see I've got 3 dots and then the little Xbox logo in the top corner. So if I click on the 3 dots, you can see I'm muted at the moment. So if I was chatting with someone in game, they would hear nothing. So you have to unmute yourself. You can give feedback to Microsoft if there's a particular game that seems to have a number of lag issues or something like that. You can give them direct feedback. I actually really like that. I think that's great. Or you can quit the game. So you go back. If you hit the Xbox logo, you can see it brings up your typical Xbox dashboard. So if you've got your friends online, you can start a party, you can look at invitations, you can find friends, and you can quit games. What I will say is my experience with connecting with friends, starting parties has been a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes it works perfectly. Sometimes I don't get invites at all. Sometimes the invites I send don't get received from friends. Sometimes the voice chat doesn't work. Sometimes it does work. I think probably this has just been my experience. If you start the normal Xbox app, so not the cloud gaming one, if you start the normal Xbox app, start a party, start a group chat and voice chat, then open this app, the experience has been much more reliable. So if you're having issues getting a party started with voice chat, do that. Jump to the normal app, start in there, and then jump to the cloud gaming one. So here's what we'll do. I'll start it here on my mobile device. I also want to show you what it's like on a desktop computer because it is slightly different. But again, they're the two options that you can bring up. So let's jump out of here. I'll do a little bit of racing. I'll give it a little bit of volume so you can hear how it sounds. All right, that's a little bit quiet. Okay. All right, so basically sorry, I'm trying to drive and talk at the same time, it's a little bit difficult. When I was having issues with connection, basically it would drop frames, stutter, and if you're in the middle of like a race, that's not ideal because if you're coming up to like a sharp corner or something like that, it'd just drop a frame and then you'd end up kind of in the bush, which is not ideal. But overall, on 4G, it's quite good. I noticed when I was quickly trying out PUBG, it kind of shows you how much you're downloading as you're playing, and it was only downloading about 6 to 7 meg and uploading about 2 to 3 meg. So it should be okay. If you've got a lower tier NVN connection, like 25 meg down, 5 meg up, you really shouldn't have any issues. What I will say, if you can plug directly into your router, I think your experience would probably be better. Or if you want kind of like the best experience and you've got 4G or 5G, I think that you're probably going to have a much better lag-free, stutter-free experience playing games, especially if you're playing with friends and you're playing multiplayer, etc. So overall, I think it's pretty good, and especially on a mobile device, it's been great. So let me just jump out of this game, and there you go. Now, here's something that you should know. At the moment, Microsoft is asking for feedback on every game you play. I think this is good because it means they actually care about the experience of this product and this service. All right, so that's what it's like on a mobile device. I'm gonna swap to my desktop computer now on my iMac 2011, which is kind of an older machine, but I'll show you how that works. Like I said, so far I've enjoyed kind of the mobile experience more than anything else. So let's jump over and I'll set the camera up and show you what that's like as well. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you what the experience is like on a MacBook Pro. I've got Microsoft Edge set up here, and I've already loaded into the cloud gaming service. So you can see I've got Forza already loaded up. Again, up in the top corner, I've got the 3 dots where you can mute. You get a new option on a computer to go to full screen. You can give feedback or you can quit the game. If you click this one, you get the Xbox menu where you've got friends, start a party, invitations, etc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just play for a few minutes. Forza 4, currently using my 4G connection, which generally should get me about 60 to 80 meg. On a good day, it might get me 100. But I want to show you what the experience is like compared to a mobile device. So let's jump in. I'll jump into full screen. And again, this is an M1 MacBook. So you can see the graphics are not as crisp as what you kind of see on a mobile. Again, smaller screen, so not as many pixels to push.
I don't know if you've heard about this rookie driver who's been tearing up the festival this last year, taking on all comers in all conditions, and now I guess we run out of stuff to race against them because I think I just saw a hovercraft roll out of the auto show this morning.
Okay.
Hey, my friend, but
This-
on behalf of Scotty Tyler and the whole Base Arena crew, this one is for you.
So this is kind of the experience I have had on my home Wi-Fi. It's like it'll run perfectly for like 5 minutes, and then you'll have sort of drop frames and a bit of stutter and a little bit of pixelation. And I think it's fairly reliant on having a really good steady connection. So anything you can do to improve your connection, so plugging into your router with a LAN cable, if you've got 5G, I think the 5G experience would be perfect. But I'll just play a couple of minutes and show you what it's like. I'll change the view so you can see how everything kind of looks. What I might also do, if anyone's interested, I might do a streaming test of Forza 5 when that comes out, because that's obviously going to be a really popular game. But there we go, guys. So this is just using my Wi-Fi connection. My signal strength is good. It's not great. I'm probably, from the router right now, I'm probably about 30 meters. So I've got a good router, but you know, it's going through multiple walls into the studio here. So there we go, guys. I hope that was a comprehensive review of what the cloud gaming service is like in Australia. I think it is well worth the money. For $15.95, it's perfect for people that travel, that... let me just quickly jump out of this. It's perfect for people that travel and want to play games on their mobile phone. People that maybe just don't want to have multiple consoles under the TV. People that play or work on a MacBook and they want to play AAA games with a controller. Perfect. It's actually really good for someone like myself who's a casual gamer. You know, I'm often spending the day in the studio doing work, doing client work, and just want to have a quick game. I just load up the browser, click the game I want to play, grab my control, and I'm off and I'm playing a game pretty quickly. My good friend and I were chatting about the future of what this looks like, this cloud gaming service, and personally I think what's going to happen at some stage in the future, Microsoft will have this down pat, and PlayStation and everybody else, and I think there will be gaming devices that are just a HDMI plug that goes into the side of your TV, comes with a controller, you know, it's 80, 90 bucks, and instead of buying a $600 or $700 console, you buy that and you just have a streaming service. We have a monthly fee, kind of like Netflix. If it does get to that stage, I think that that's a really, really cool way to enjoy quality gaming, get titles on the day they're released, and you know, it's a sort of fuss-free, take it with you. You know, if you're frequently traveling and you want to just plug into the hotel TV, you just take your control and your, you know, like your Chromecast device, and you set up, and you know, that's it. That's all you need. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got questions or there's a game you want to see, make sure you drop the comments below. Make sure you hit subscribe, because I'll probably do some more videos like these in the future. And yeah, overall, very happy with it. It is kind of dependent on the connection you have a little bit, but overall, best experience I've found is playing on 4G and using a mobile device, or 5G would be even better if you've got that. All right guys, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.